Hi, I'm Symphoneers. So I've been a little bit slow getting a Dominaria United video out because, aside from grinding limited like I usually do, I've been getting a lot of mono black on the ladder, as I'm sure everyone has, and all the new decks, like with the fun creatures and stuff I was all excited about, just die to mono black. Yeah, I was a little upsetty spaghetti. So I wanted to brew something that just had a really good mono black matchup specifically. And I think I hit the mark. This deck's win rate overall, like 67-ish percent, yeah, around there, which is fine, like good, decent deck. But the mono black win rate specifically 11-1, 92%. The kind of basic idea of the list is continual value generation, devalue the attrition tools they play. So let's get into the actual deck tech. Way down on the curve we have Lunarch Veteran. We do rely on the Lunarch Veteran's kind of life gain pings to help keep us in the game and offset drain effects. The fact it can be recurred from the graveyard means that we're not that sad if we have to sack it to, a Lily or a Invoke Despair or whatever. In the 2-drop slot, we have a Spirited Companion and Ambitious Farmhand. The fact that we have so many things that either search up planes directly or kind of cantrip and increase our odds of drawing planes help us curve up, and the fact we put a body on the board also helps, again, just offset attrition effects, the creature edicts and stuff, or give us chump blockers early in the game too. Notably with Spirited Companion, one nice little bit of counterplay there is versus Invoke Despair specifically, you can sacrifice it as the enchantment part of Invoke Despair, so you can sack like your Ambitious Farmhand and keep your higher value enchantments like your Sigarda Splendor safe by just sacking the Spirited Companion. Continuing the land smoothing, we have Restoration of Iganjo. The second step in this too works really well with all our companions and farmhands, since we can throw one into the bin and bring it back, effectively getting to play it for free. This deck does often have like a ton of land in hand because we have all of these things that fetch planes, and they are what we will often discard to like Liliana upticks or something. The Architect of Restoration also spits out spirit tokens, which are good sacrifice fodder, and they also give us little pings, life gain procs from Lunarch Veteran, which is helpful. We have a One of Fun of Adeline. Again, her token generation also gives us veteran pings. Anointed Peacekeeper, our replacement elite spellbinder for the new standard. I've been pretty happy with it. It's actually not incredible in the mono black matchup specifically, mostly because they have a ton of removal in hand and can usually kill it. Occasionally you can get really lucky and like they have no removal and a bunch of Invoke Despairs. You name the Invoke Despairs, absolutely butcher their game plan. It's actually just kind of better in aggro matchups, largely because you can name the big scary aggro creatures that are going to kill you, and that gives you enough time to get some Wandering Emperors or like Elspeths down and doing their stuff. In the 4-mana slot, we have Sigarda Splendor. This is our main draw engine. It is a little bit difficult to sequence sometimes because it is a 4-mana do-nothing, but it actually really helps keep you in the game if you're having to discard cards. It is just a huge life gainer, huge stabilizing force that helps you wrestle through having to, sack a bunch of permanents or whatever. Very, very helpful card. We are playing 4 Wandering Emperors, just incredibly powerful removal, mainly in here to remove big threats. We have a suite of cards in the top end that we rely on to actually like kill people and close out games. One of the big ones being Ow the Dawn Sky. We play Ow because it's a large threat that they can kill, and we're not that sad about them killing it. Just because, yeah, the death effects, you tend to either have a big board from all of the token generation we do, and the 2+1/+1 counters are good, or you have a much narrower board, and digging for other stuff to put on the board and, stay alive is helpful. We are running 2 Defilers of Faith. This is just a way to kind of help really pour on the value once we have, our bigger pieces online. It can help us multi-spell. One nice thing too is that if we have like a Sigarda Splendor and a Luminarch Veteran down, then the Phyrexian mana basically is irrelevant. Just a big vigilant threat that helps us generate a big board. Great for stalling out games with the little tokens or whatever. We are running 2 Elspeths, just one of the ways we can also close out a game, mostly by giving like Adeline or an Architect of Restoration or something flying. We are running 2 Invoke Justices as well. These are just used to get things back from the graveyard. Our best hits for it, of course, are like Elspeth and Ow, just because they're a big threat in and of themselves. And yeah, you can usually beef up some of the other shrimpy creatures using the Invoke Justice counters. I think that's about it. If you like the deck or like the video, consider subscribing and stuff. Helps the channel a lot. I get to monetize at 1,000 subscribers, which would be, you know, nice. Anyway, that's all of that nitty gritty out of the way, so let's get on to some gameplay. Pretty reasonable hand. A little bit land light, but we do have the Spirited Companion, which gives us another chance to draw land for the Peacekeepers, so feeling okay. We are versus some shade of mono black, so feeling all right. Would you like to cut down my veteran? No, they let the veteran live. Are they as kind to the dog? Yeah, just draw a card. There they go. That happens. Dog draw. Ooh, Cigar to Splendor is very good. I'm happy with this hand versus mono black, because we get to play a Peacekeeper here. Take a look at what they've got. Just a pile of removal. They do have the Swamp for Liliana, but we are not. They can cut down the dog, play Liliana Edict, which is awkward. We want to prevent... No, we can't really. Like, the cut down Infernal... All of their removal has different names, which makes the Peacekeeper pretty bad here. Unfortunately. Infernal Grasp, Yeah, there's... Normally they would have, like, just say a cool, casual 2 pieces of removal. And it would be correct to name Infernal Grasp. But yeah. Too many cards, too many different names, so we eat the Edict. We are not happy about that, but we're like, Cigar to Splendor is a recovery or catch-up mechanic for us here. Given what we've seen of their hand, I think I'm going to drop the drop the Peacekeeper here. Maybe. Yeah. Because we want to try to curve up to Ow. Get a big threat down. But we'll see. Ooh, Invoke Justice is helpful, so we can actually ditch Ow to the Liliana discard. Take action, get a plains. Yeah, we can, do we want to 20? The vampire will drop us to 20. Tracking your marked health with Cigar to Splendor is kind of important, or like you should play around it. If you match, you get the card draw. Match or greater, you get the card draw. March of Wretched Sorrow. Interesting. They can dig it, will discard Ow. They're keeping the Soul Transfer in hand, which is awkward for Ow, but maybe we'll be able to get something happening. We'll put all the counters on the farm hand. They march here, never mind. Yeah, the Soul Transfer is quite awkward. Wonder if we can bait it out of them. We might be able to bait it. Problem is we don't want them like drawing cards with Sorin and stuff indefinitely. Although, yeah. So play out a land, do this, fetch up another plains that we can discard to Lily. Get the Lunarch Veteran out. Definitely trying to, like, bait... I would just love to not have Ow eat the Soul Transfer. I'm I'm not sure this is super correct. I'm also picking this path because it's a way to, like, hide Ao from the soul transfer. And probably, yeah, get some kind of value out of them. If not the soul transfer, then the Liliana downtick, so we don't have to worry about her ulting. Lunarch Veteran number 2, okay. So we can toss the plains here, get back a ambitious farmhand. More plains for Lily. Or hit our land drops. Restoration. Sorry, we should have... No, that's... Oh, there's kind of a lot going on some turns. Not that much, but talking through it all for videos can be a lot sometimes. Vampire number 2, so we're losing the free ride on like our Sigarda Splendor consistently offsetting their whole situation. You're a sorcery, yeah, you're a sorcery, so they won't be tempted to use it on a restoration before we can get back Ao. We might still do it just to get the creatures we do have. Ugh, awkward. Chukka Plains. Spirited Companion goes Burr. We do... Oh, Absolute Landlord. Yeah, in this case, we just have to kind of be like, okay, they get to soul transfer Ao, but we will get to at least start hitting in with our creatures. This does give us Coven on the farmhand, which is actually pretty cool and good. I'm more worried about Sorin here, so we'll do this. I'll do the farmhand thing now, just because why not? I like lifelink. That helps with Sigarda Splendor too. I didn't mention that in the deck tech, but this is a deck that actually semi-regularly flips into Seasoned Cathar, so that can be a handy source of lifelink, especially versus Shieldred Drain. Soul Transfer Ao, we tried to play around it as much as we reasonably could. Yeah, not too much to say about that. We did... Oh, okay. Do we want to play around the Invoke Despair here? I'm just thinking with... we have 2 Architects. Yeah, they can't fight. A lot of mono black players will scoop once they realize that they effectively can't fight the value engine you establish with Sigarda Splendor and kind of all that stuff. Often you're going to be behind early, similar to Esper Walkers too, like this deck will struggle dealing with Kaido early, but as you get more pieces online, it becomes harder for them to fight you effectively because a lot of their removal just, trades, whereas pretty much every card in this deck, draws a card or draws lands or, juggles things in and out of the graveyard and stuff. So, yeah, not a, like, stunning photo finish or whatever, but still, good game to the opponent. This hand is reasonable on the draw. So we have, okay, getting even better. Yeah, the dogs, just early stuff to do that helps us draw into either more plays or more lands to curve up to our other big plays in hands. So some Orzhov thing, or maybe Esper, some version of mono black, oof owie. No attacks. Adeline is nice. We'll do Adeline. Adeline on curve. Okay, they don't even swing with the underdog. Play out Adeline. She's thick enough to avoid cut down, which is something you should keep in mind if you can. No attacks. I just don't want to go down a, actual card in this spot. They are stuck on mana too, or they missed a land drop. So I feel like I have a little bit of breathing room, maybe, to try to hold on to value. So they're doing a hover. Ooh, eaten alive. Sure. So Adeline goes bye-bye. In this case, do we want to Emperor? I kind of just want a dog. The Emperor is not one of the higher value planeswalkers in terms of, sure, I'll take a land. This gives us like Ow and Defiler of Faith, which are higher pressure versus an opponent who is stumbling. So slam on in there. They did show us Eaten Alive, which is concerning for Ow. Probably it is Esper. Okay. Wonderful. We're having a start that gets to actually punish their slow mana. So let's Defiler of Faith here. They could Meathook on one. I don't think I am that concerned about it. We'll use the Defiler discount to go extra wide and punish them hard if they don't have a Meathook. If they do, they kind of time walk us. But we still keep the Defiler. They're still on the defensive. So I think I'm fine with it. Ooh, Painlands and Raffine. Okay. Ooh, yeah, we just punish an opponent who stumbles there. We don't often apply that much early pressure, but one nice thing about being mono white is that because our mana is, simple and doesn't have triomes and painlands, we tend to curve out and all the like hand smoothing stuff in the lower end of the curve. We tend to just be able to curve out and punish opponents that stumble. Very short game, but I'll just say good game to the opponent, and yeah. Okay, we'll keep. We curve up to at least Peacekeeper with Ambitious Farmhand. Double Cigar de Splendor can be a little bit iffy just versus like aggressive matchups in particular because it's kind of low pressure. Or it's a long game tool. Anti-attrition tool. We're versus some shade of mono, or not mono black, but black value whatever. So feeling better about this hand, we will do the search, find the planes, and get in for one. Do the Peacekeeper next turn. Probably we'll just have to name Shigeki. Okay. Terra Sunder? But then they can just... No, I like Terra Sunder, actually. It's the same issue that I think came up in another match of like they have too many different named removal spells for us to effectively lock them out of killing things. So naming Terra Sunder just gives us like maybe a bonus turn with Cigar de Splendor. A little bit of wiggle room, basically, because they'll probably want to do other stuff than, kill our value engine. So that happens, they do Shigeki things, we will get a Cigar de Splendor down and attack with the team. So yeah, they might Terra Sunder, but I'm expecting more probably removal. Removal on the Peacekeeper. They hit their land drop, but it's a tap land, which is good for us. We get probably at least one turn with the Cigar de Splendor. One nice thing is playing with this much information is you can be like, what would you do? Just toss out the underdog. Soul Transfer on the Peacekeeper is not a bad move for them. Does Fruit give us some room for Ow? Yeah, they could March for 2 is awkward here because it doesn't kill. Oh, they chuck something to March. Really, they chuck Underdog to March. Wow. Not quite what I was expecting there. So I might actually, yeah, let's do the Farmhand and the Companion, because if their move next turn, like if they hit their land drops, then I want to be able to sack the Companion to the Invoke Despair's Edict. So yeah, just play out the one-drop stuff. We haven't seen a Meathook Massacre, so just keep those veterans coming. Get in with the team. Yeah, we're definitely like, please no Meathook Massacre. I would maybe Terra Sunder. Our board is getting kind of big at this point. I think that's fair. Terra Sender plus Shigeki is pretty fine on their part. Although we don't hate just smashing in for damage. That's not true. We kind of hate smashing in for damage. Too many things in hand, too little time. Let's get the other Splendor out. Cause, yeah, we kind of want to apply pressure there, but I don't really want to lose a veteran or the companion. Cruelty of Gix, that's awkward. So we lose something. They're probably searching up a Meathook with the second step too, or they might be. That's what past opponents have gotten. I would definitely toss the owl if I were them. The Defiler has more counterplay, although they might figure, yeah, no, they go for the owl. I was gonna say they might figure they can soul transfer it, but anyway, ooh, Wandering Emperor is. This is nice. This pleases me. Let's just invoke some justice. So do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Submit. Is that correct? They can. No, we should. That is probably not correct. They can dig for Meathook. Yeah, how do we want to allocate this actually? They can dig for Meathook, but they do have the soul transfer in hand, so we don't want to overinvest in owl. This gives us Coven for the farmhand. Sorry, that took me way too long to find words for. I might Thick farmhand? Let's try thick farmhand. We'll be able to flip over. Yeah, that was a more complicated thing. I was just picturing the initial thing of like make a bunch of tutus and swing past, but yeah, if we are expecting a Meathook with the Gix, then it's a little more complicated. The best case scenario for them is land drop plus tutoring for Meathook, I think. That's what I would assume. Oh no. Well, let's see if I called it. They might go for something else too. Like, I don't know what their game plan is. They might have fetched a Titan of Industry or something. If they did, we're probably not that concerned about it. Soul transfer on owl, so probably not Meathook. That's slightly awkward for our farmhand coven, but we can take care of that with like a Wandering Emperor uptick. Plains, sure. Let's do that. Yeah, they're 3 to flip, which is a little bit awkward. They exiled Al. They exiled Al, which is that kind of, yeah, that removes Al as a Gix target. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by playing the opponent's deck. I was tempted to keep the Luminarch veteran in hand just for like playing around Meathook, but I think it's more correct to just get in with the team. We might also just be flashing in the Emperor here to uptick whatever they block with Shigeki. We would lose the Emperor to an Invoked Spare. Yeah, it's a little... Oh, they just do this. No, of course that makes sense, because Shigeki has the thing that Shigeki does that is... Yeah, the game stall move. Duh. Weatherseed Treaty. Interesting. So yeah, just some shade of Golgari control. Doot doot doot. Get in there. Definitely, I think we might flash in the Emperor to... Oh, pardon me. They can name the Wandering Emperor here. Whoops. Punt. To be fair to me, Anointed Peacekeeper has some odd phrasing. It's not an ETB, it's an as it enters. So I was thinking I would get another chance to flash in the Emperor, and I just, passed priority. But yeah, new card punt, basically. They might be figuring they can lock me out of the Defiler or something. But yeah, no, that's just a full-on mistake on my part. Hopefully it's not a huge issue. Yeah, you can kind of get people with that too, or like opponents also make that mistake I just made of thinking they have more time to react to a card like this than they do. So, that's the thing. There's the Meathook. Honks. Well, good thing that the Peacekeeper didn't stick around long. Start rebuilding our board right away. And we have a bunch of life anyway, so we rebuild bonus fast. Let's get the Defiler of Faith down. It's a very handy, whoops, sorry. Almost did a punt. Get the Veteran down first, or sequencing punt, like not a huge issue, but we'll do that. And then Farmhand. Our noted health was 34, and we're good. Yeah, so do that. Get one of these out too. If they have another sweeper, the Luminous Phantom will help keep our life total nice and high, nice and spicy. Let's make the Defiler big just to help insulate against... I have not been counting their lands like I should. They can just Meathook for 6, so Titan, sure. Shield counter. I don't know that we're actually that concerned about a Titan at this point. We would love an Elspeth to help, like, make our Defiler extra big, extra fast. I assume they, like, gain... They might do a thing with the shield counter. The first strike on the Defiler is, like, from upticking with the Wandering Emperor, is very relevant. Okay, they don't go for shield counter, so we will probably just attack with the Defiler this turn. Get this restoration ticking. We have enough mana to just cast things for full price, so we do all of this stuff. Thin the deck. Luminous Phantom. Yeah, you don't need to spend Phyrexian mana if you can just pay normally. Noted health is 36, so that should help insulate from any, tricks? Shrug? I guess we could have done the Farmhand Coven if we were paying Phyrexian for some of that, but I'm not super concerned about that. Sorry, so they're at 15, one blocker aside from that. 1, 2, 3, 4. I like that actually, or sorry, attack. Should have just done attack all, but anyway, 8 attacks, apply pressure. Because yeah, they have to block that. I guess, no, yeah, they have to block things. They could have done it a little bit differently. But just apply good pressure. Get a bunch of Luminous Phantom procs. Yeah, Defiler's doing good work here. Hopefully they don't just, top deck into another Meathook. Dig up. So they're not top decking into a Meathook, but they are digging for a Meathook. So hopefully we can draw something nice. We have a dog in the graveyard. Yeah. So we'll be able to toss a land and get a Spirited Companion, and then... Wah, 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 wah. Gain 1,000,000,000 life. We're not a life gain deck, but we sure do gain life real good. Wandering Emperor number 2, alright. So, toss that Plains in there, Spirited Companion, because we would like an Elspeth or an Ow. An Ow is totally fine. Just pay retail, we can flash in the Emperor too if they deal with ours with like the Invoke Despair. Yeah, I guess just uptick. We could make a Knight with Vigilance. I don't hate that actually. Like just make the board a little bit thicker. A little bit wider since we're burning through some number of their meat hooks anyway. They just take the Defiler to the face. Pass back to the opponent's turn. So... Infernal on the Defiler, sure. We're not happy about it, but also we're in, like, we're very, very stable at this point. We're just kind of letting the opponent play it out, see how long they think they can stay in this game. It's the, like, patience is a win con, woo! Green-black can fight through our deck pretty effectively, so it's not, like, dumb of them to play it out or whatever, especially if they have, say, a soul transfer for Ow again. Yeah, the Invoke Despair is... sure. Resolve, sacrifice a creature, do the 1/1 for the enchantment, toss the Spirited Companion, and then we lose the Emperor. Resolve all, pass. Flash in this Emperor, gain a little bit of life, and spit out a 2/2. Then draw more cards. Ooh, Absolute Landlord. That's a thing. Get the Lunarch Veteran out, I guess. Just cuz. Put a counter on... do we want... nah, just put a counter on Ow. Like, Ow is 2-turn clock. At least 2-turn clock if they don't touch stuff. But we're feeling good. Another huge meat hook. We would get Ow's death proc if they have another huge meat hook in hand, so... you know. Not terrible if they do have that. Noted health is 78. So even if they kill the Rhino, or like do a big meat hook, we should be fine. They are probably eyeballing what they can do with Shigeki too, I would imagine. Digging out the soul transfer? Sorry, I thought I saw them hovering the soul transfer. Soul transfer, they could dig out the meat hook too. Shigeki is... that does not keep them... does that keep them alive? I think they have enough mana to meat hook away the Architect, if I'm counting correctly, which is always a gamble. So they could heal 4 here? But then they lose their, like, Shigeki loop. This is part of why I don't like the Shigeki loop that much, is that when you're under, like, real good pressure, it does not tend to get the job done quite as well as you would hope. Sure, that's fair. Soul Transfer and Cut Down. Keeps him in the game for a second, but it's not amazing. Elspeth? Would love an Elspeth. Nope, more lands. Alright. Great. Sorry, do we have... if we just put a counter on one of the 2/2s, we kill them, right? Because they block the Architect. 5 damage on the ground. Yeah. there's always the temptation to, like, make your best thing better, but occasionally that's not good combat math. So we have exact lethal before they can cut down and, you know, claw their way back into the game. A good game to our opponent. I might stop recording there. These games have been a little bit long, and, yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of a good general summary of how the deck works. The aggro matchups, I didn't catch any of this recording, because you don't tend to get... Yeah, aggro's a bit rough, but when it does come up, on the draw versus mono red, you're probably dead. It's very bad. If you're on the play, you can sometimes, like, pace things out with peacekeepers and stuff to stay in there. Yeah, I don't want to misrepresent the deck by just showing wins or whatever. Aggro is worse, but not unwinnable. It is these kind of long, grindy games where the deck really shines, though. So I was happy to get a few of those recorded today. Yeah, that's about it. So thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching the video, and an extra big thanks to Alex, Spur, and Madjack, my $5 Patreon patrons. I have multiple tiers at the Patreon if you want to support that way. If you can't afford it, no worries. Just liking, subscribing, and generally engaging for the algorithm helps the channel a lot. Thank you again. Hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.